Let's describe to people what happens when you and I go to conference.
When we go to conference, we're bringing together not only some of the top coaches in the country, but we're also bringing together companies, the franchises that are very successful, have been around a long time. So we bring some of those in for the Shark Tank. We also bring in some of the emerging ones. Some are very emerging, some are in the process. And the idea behind this, first of all, again, the learning community is the learning community, and we want that for all, including the franchisors. But it's a really good test so that you can see gold standard companies who've been around for 50 years going through a Shark Tank, and you can see somebody who has three or four operating units who are in the early stages. And sometimes you get really blown away by some of these emerging ones. Tara, I think I described to you, but some of these emerging companies today are not like the emerging companies I would see 20 years ago. And what I mean by that, obviously 20 years have gone by. What I mean by that is I see some, I call it gray hair on young shoulders, right?
Yeah.
So my pop used to talk about that. Boy, if you could put gray hair, the experience, the things you've learned on young shoulders with that vim and vigor, that new opportunity. There are some companies that are very established in terms of franchising and franchise knowledge, who have then taken it and gone to either a different industry or a new look at an existing industry, putting the gray hair and a lot of experience, a lot of money in some situations, and taking on a market in a different way. And I found that very interesting. I think part of that might have to do a little bit with the way PE money has come into franchising, so
Yep,
it
no doubt about that.
encourages it. But I think that's an interesting development, and we saw it a lot in Cincinnati.
And that's where we want you to start your investigation with the franchise company. Does this company warrant your investment dollars? Are they well managed? Do they have people that understand franchising? Do they have people that understand the business that they're in? Do they have systems that you can understand and use to duplicate their business? One of my mentors told me very early on in my franchising career, he said, Terry, he said, I want you to talk to people and explain to them what franchising is and what it isn't. And I said, wow, what an interesting way to frame that. What isn't it? And he said, it isn't starting a business. He said, it's duplicating a business that has already been started. And that was one of the best lessons that I ever got. So you want to investigate the company first, the management. Do they have a vision for the future? And gray hair on young shoulders is a great way to frame that and a really good quality in the company to look for.